is Why My Business Works, the podcast for creative business owners that are building their business on their own terms. We talk to interior designers and architects running firms of all shapes, sizes, ages, origins, and philosophies as we set out to show that there is no prescription for success, whatever that means, and business is both art and science. And no one else has a business exactly like yours. I'm Megan Dolly, strategist, CFO, and your hostess. Here's someone I'm excited for you to meet. Candice Wideman owns Utopia Designs in St. Louis. She designs homes for people who barely have a minute to breathe: doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs. Her promise is simple: one point of contact, zero chaos. What I love most is that she actually starts with you. Candice uses personality typing to show how she communicates and makes decisions. So the whole process feels calmer, easier, and way less overwhelming. She grew up around construction, literally scraping subfloors as a kid, so job sites don't intimidate her one bit. Beyond design, she has this creative side with pottery that lights her up. Plus, she's about to step in as president to her local ASID chapter. It's a mix of strategist, maker, and leader. And if you've ever wondered what it looks like when a design business truly works for busy people, Candice is the perfect example.
Mhm.
Candice, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's dig in with the data. Let's always start with the
Okay.
data. How long have you been in business?
So I started my company back in 2012. So it's been a little over 13 years now. It's crazy because it's flown by. I can't believe that it's been 13 years already, but it's been a lot of fun.
Great. What does your staff look like? Contractors, employees?
Yep. So right now it's just myself and I have an intern who helps me out part-time. It feels like a right balance right now for me. It allows me to keep things a little bit more smaller scale because I've gotten, where I've had up to two employees with an intern, and I feel like I just started kind of losing some of that connection with my clients. It just started feeling a little big. So right now it's just myself and, like I said, an intern, and it feels like a good balance and allows me to have closer personal relationships with my clients.
Yeah. Okay. So what project size range do you have? How small and how big do you go?
Yep. So I've done everything from really small projects where clients are asking, I need my room, like I don't know what paint color to do. And, I want to keep this sofa and this chair, but everything else can go and start fresh. So, I mean, we've done stuff that's really small up to really big corporate projects, such as the Bobcat here in St. Louis. We did their headquarters here. So it was a really big, large corporate office. So, yeah, we've done really small and really big.
All right. And your preferred pricing model?
So I feel like that's a funny one. I have done a couple different ones, but I have found the best one that works for me is hourly. I feel like it's just a little bit easier. It's a little bit more transparent with the clients, saying, here's exactly what I did today and this and this and this and this. I will say, in terms of the pricing model, whenever I do a contract with clients, I will initially give them an estimate of how many hours I anticipate it's going to take. So they're usually aware, you know what I mean? It's not going to be like a continuous endless loop every month type of thing, but I'll say this project is going to take me 70 to 80 hours. And they say, okay, then I request 40 hours upfront to be paid. And then after I've used those hours, then I charge them monthly as I use the other hours.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. All right, let's get
Yeah.
into the good stuff. I love the
Okay.
story of how you actually got into interior design in the first place. Like,
Okay.
I'll let you tell it, but this was not your first choice.
Yes, it was
Or
not.
what?
So I say it always goes back to high school. I took a class in high school for interior design. And I absolutely hated it. I thought it was the worst class, couldn't wait till the semester was over. And I had always wanted to be in the medical profession. So when I started college, I was a biology major and I would sit in those lecture classes and I absolutely hated it. Just all those people and just, ugh, it wasn't fun. But on my way to those classes, I would walk through the interior design department. And I was just like, this looks so cool. It looks so fun. I think I want to do it. And so I called my parents that day or whatever, once I finally decided I wanted to do it. And I said, I'm going to switch my major. And they were like, oh, you going to do like chemistry or what do you think? And I was like, interior design. And they literally asked me, "Are you on drugs?" And I said, "I am not." And they were like, "You took a class in high school, you hated it. Like, what makes you want to do it?" And I was just, it just looks like something that I really want to do. I'm drawn to it. So they said, "If you're going to do it, you better do it." And I did it.
I mean, there's an element of bravery there, right? Like you're telling your parents, I'm going from med school to interior design, which as a parent can be like, oh, these
Like, what
hopes
are
and
you thinking,
dreams.
child? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how far back does your creative streak go? Because you didn't like, there's like you tried interior design in high school, but that was it
Yeah,
not
it
for you
had to just,
anymore the way it was
I think it
taught?
just had to be the teacher or something
Yeah.
because all through grade school, middle school, high school, college now, I always loved my art classes, the pottery classes. I always loved those. So I don't know what it was about. It was just that class. I didn't like it.
All
But
right. Well, in high school, I thought accounting was stupid because I thought the teacher was stupid.
there you
That's
go.
interesting. Okay, so interesting. And then you also you grew up around construction. How did
I
that?
did. So it was either my dad's job and they would move us from place to place. Or if it wasn't for that, my parents loved to buy homes, flip them, sell them, build them, sell them. So it was just constantly moving, growing up in construction, remodeling. So yeah, it was just kind of always around me. So it's kind of just something I've always known. And I guess I just like it.
Did that experience give you a leg up that you felt like when you were in the interior design school, or did that leg up not really come to fruition until you were out on your own?
Probably more out on my own. I mean, because school was definitely more, learning concepts and how to use AutoCAD and, elements of design, the school stuff versus, like growing up on construction sites. I mean, I was getting stuff off the subfloors before the floors laid down, doing the walkthroughs and stuff with my parents. So it was like kind of two different things that went hand in hand, but it was like, oh, I remember this, like when my parents walked through construction sites or this or that, and you don't necessarily get the experience in school.
Okay. So when you went out on your own in 2013, say 2013, were you leaving a job that you started to go out on your own, or is this, nah, I'm just going to be out on my own from the beginning?
Yeah, I was working full time for a company and I was doing design, but more so tiles, like design, some plumbing design, and then like selling the big slabs of like granite and marble and all of that. And I honestly, I loved the job. But at that time, I was pregnant with my daughter, and my husband just kept saying to me, "Candice, just start your own company, start your own company, just do it." So I started my own company. I did ask my boss at the time where I was working, because I'm like, I know this is technically like conflict of interest. And he was just like, I know nothing about it. And he's like, but go for it, but I know nothing about it. And so I was doing that part time before I would go to work on my lunch breaks and after work. I was doing meetings with people, just trying to get the business going. Then after I had Evelyn, and I had enough business to keep me busy part time. So I decided I'm going to spend time with my baby and work on my company more. And I was able to do it. It was wonderful.
That's very gracious of your boss.
Yes, it was really, really gracious. And I actually got really lucky too, because when I had Evelyn, I had a lady that I babysat for every now and then when I was in college. She needed a nanny. The hours were from like 5 to 7 or between 3 and 7. She paid me what I made full time at my other job for watching the kids. So I was able to work on my company during the day, especially when Evelyn was sleeping, and then go to a job in the evening where I still made money. So it was a godsend, like being able to start my company.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so back in the early days of the company, were you spending more time on finding clients or on the work itself? Were you able to find clients right away, or was that a struggle?
I was doing pretty good with clients like before, like I just like completely quit my other job because I had started doing stuff while I was at that company. It was definitely maybe a little bit difficult finding jobs or projects, but I would say I definitely have, and I always have had a lot of referrals from people. At that time too, I did a lot of Thumbtack and Bark and this and that. So, taking on those smaller projects just to be able to get portfolio and build.
Are you building your business now mostly on referrals as well?
There's a lot of referrals still right now. And then I've been getting a lot of just like, oh, I randomly came across, on Google. So
Okay.
trying
All right.
to,
So great
trying to,
combination. So if you were starting your business again today, is there anything that you would change or any advice that you think would have gotten you further faster?
if I was starting over, I think that I would have more of like a plan in place. I feel like whenever you are new, you don't have as many plans and stuff in place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would want to clearly define my brand better and make sure, like who I want to serve. Because at that time when you're new, you're just taking projects on. So, yeah, if I had to start over, I think it would just be clearly defining my brand and making it a point to know like which clientele I wanted to serve. And I think the second thing would be I would want to start immediately, like building those strong relationships with people like the builders, contractors, and stuff. Again, when you're young, I don't know if you like know as much and this and that, but getting out there networking to meet more people. And then just making it a point to probably just to begin building like solid systems from the beginning, like making sure contract is like correct and in place, different like communication tools with clients and contractors, things like that.
Okay. All right. That's a great jumping off point into your branding. Like you serve doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, people that are really busy. Is that a choice? Like something happened and came into that?
I feel like it was kind of natural when I had nannied for the one family. The husband was a doctor, she's a nurse practitioner. She has given me so many wonderful referrals who have all been doctors. And all of those doctors have given me referrals that are doctors, and then a lot of our friends groups between my husband and I, we have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs. So they have their own companies, lawyers, doctors, etc. So it just kind of happened that those were the kind of people that I just fell in place with, and it
Yeah.
worked great.
So very professional type clientele, which comes to your point about like learning somebody's communication style and using that. Did you like seek out knowledge about this? Did you go learn? How did that come about?
I feel like I have always had like a passion with psychology stuff. A lot of the classes that I would take, like extracurriculars or whatever, I loved as many art classes as I could. But I would always also take as many psychology classes as I could. I loved psychology and the way people's minds work. I love interior design because the colors, the shapes, and this and that affect how people interact and move, but then also the psychology between communication styles. Like if you're introvert versus extrovert, it's
Oh,
just exciting. And I really enjoy like knowing that about people because it really helps you in terms of like approaching and interacting with them because some of their weaknesses are my strengths and their strengths could be my weaknesses. So it's really nice knowing.
okay. So how does that work? Do you like, give them an assessment to take, or do you suss it out through your communication? How do you find it?
Ask some people if I'm just like, I can't get a read on him. They're like, will you just take this short, quiz so we kind of just know what communication style is? But I feel like a lot of times too, I can get a pretty good read on people right away. Most people can get a pretty good read on me. I'm extroverted, not going in, hey,
Yeah,
I meet you one time and I'm like, give me a hug.
I get that.
Yeah,
I'm a hugger.
I am.
Okay. Yeah. And you're taking over the leadership in a idea for your chapter this month,
I
actually.
have officially been president for 15 days now. Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been busy. We had our first class or like CEU class event last Friday, and it was a long one. Started at 1 o'clock and didn't end till 5, and that's when happy hour started. So I was like, we're starting with a bang. But it was great. We had a really good attendance. We had a CEU class on artificial intelligence. So like using ChatGPT, is it ArcSync or ArcSmith, whatever, and then Midjourney. So it was really cool, learning about those. There is a company called Home Design Guild. I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's actually really cool. They are a new lead generation company. Basically, talking about personalities, right? What
Yeah.
this company does is they're a matchmaker for homeowners and interior designers. And so when homeowners and designers sign up, you have to take your personality test and compatibility, and then the matchmaker, which their matchmaker company is Colorworks, they come in and they like provide the matching. So let's say you're looking for a designer and you'll get, myself and two other people, that have the highest ranking personality matches with you. And then it's also on styles and do you like dogs and this and this and this, whatever. So it was really fun being able to teach St. Louis area about that company and hopefully getting that up and going. And what else did we have? Oh, we had one of the magazine companies come in and just Q&As. So
Okay. Yeah.
but it was
It
fun.
sounds like you had quite the vision for president. Like you have some things that you want to get done.
I do. Yes. Yeah. We had our second CEU last night. And what else? I'm really trying to get more sponsors and stuff involved, but also just getting our membership up. So I've got a whole membership challenge thing I'm getting ready to start next month.
Yeah.
Hopefully, get more
Yeah.
people.
Is there anything in the design industry that you see evolving that you wish wouldn't, or something that you wish would it would evolve more towards?
Clarify that more,
Yeah,
just to
like
get them involved or
just habits that you're seeing in the design. So, for instance, one of my pet peeves is when I see designers that don't take markup on their furniture. They take their design discount and they pass it through to clients. Stuff like that you think are a disservice to design, or that you think that the design industry really needs to start embracing.
I think one thing, like in general, like design industry needs to start embracing is just in general each other. I feel like so many people think that like other designers are competition, and they're not. There's more than enough business, I feel like, for to go around type of thing. And I would love to see like more designers just like helping and like lifting each other up, like again, like if you have an issue, like coming to me and talking to me about it, like I'll help work through it. It's not like I'm gonna take your client or this or that or vice versa. That would be one thing that I would say is I would love to see more people just lifting each other up
Oh,
and
okay.
helping.
That. I love that. So inside your business, like what works really, really well for you that you think you're really good at this part?
All right. I really love doing the design part and getting it all designed and stuff like that. But I love the sale. I love sales. I love the sale and just getting it closed. To me, that's always really exciting. One thing that I would say too that I am really good at is construction documents. I can create a badass set of construction documents, which is wonderful. But I'm always also too, like whenever, during the construction, oh, Candace, I have a question, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, page ID 3, drawing number 4, keynote number 5. Stop bugging me.
Let's talk about your contractor relationships. You mentioned that it took a while to curate the right contractor.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that stood out to you while you were learning how to navigate that, as to like, I see what you're doing.
I remember when the first time it happened where I was like, bullshit, I'm done, like with people not like listening. And it was actually, I was working on the Bobcat project and I go on the job site to look at stuff or whatever, do a walkthrough. Something wasn't right that they were building. And I was like, hey, like went up to the person who was building. I'm like, hey, this isn't right. This is supposed to be X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, you know what? I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. I said, well, if you've been doing it that long, you'd know how to read a set of plans and you'd realize what you're building is wrong. So you need to rip it out and start over. And I brought his boss, like, the head person over, and I'm like, here's what's going on. He's like, you heard her, rip it out. So it was then, and that was, gosh, 7, 8, I don't know, something like that, years ago or something. But it really just taught me like you have to stand up for yourself and not let people walk all over you. You're hired for a reason, they're hired for a reason. So everyone just needs to do their job and, try to do it right. In terms of finding the right contractors and stuff, I feel like that is just, it takes a while. You're always going to kind of go through different ones. You're going to have projects where it's like, this was amazing. I love working with this company, or like, this was absolutely horrible. And it's usually someone the client hires because they're like, oh, I want to use this person. It's like, see how it goes. I mean, sometimes it's been wonderful, and other times it's just been like, oh man, this is not good. So I think you learn from a lot of that, and you gotta find the right people because the right contractors that I have now. It's really nice because they know if they look at the plans and they don't know something like, oh, Candace won't care about that. Like we've worked with her long enough, like we can do this, or like you better call Candace and make sure this is okay. So yeah, once you find your people, I think things go really well. And yeah, you just got to make sure that no matter what, you're respectful, but you also stand your ground.
Yeah. That almost sounds like an origin story, right? Like a before and after. Before you're like,
Yeah.
ah, kind of
Yeah.
got
I'm
my foot.
new. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First,
Like I've
like,
had
no,
enough.
I've had enough. Like line in the sand. I'm just gonna claim it. This is mine.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
shaky and scary. And then I did it. And on the other side, I feel really good about myself. Dang it.
Hmm.
That feels good.
To this day, it felt good that I did that.
It's like that perfect shower moment that happens 24
Yeah.
hours later actually happened when it needed to. Huh.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so you have an intern now. What do you hope for them?
Ooh, I want her to be confident in her own voice as a designer. So again, just learning to speak up, but also know your place too. You're younger, this and that. But if you've got an opinion and the timing is right, talk to me about it. I want to show them it's not just creating beautiful spaces, it's about listening to your clients, problem solving, understanding people. And that's what ultimately creates a really good project. It's not just the design, it's all these things combined.
Lovely. So what's
So
next?
hopefully they'll walk away, they'll feel empowered and enabled and ready to face the world like we all did. Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's on the horizon?
So right now, I would say a lot of focus is kind of the current projects that I have. I've been spending a little bit more time with my kiddos, which has been really wonderful. My daughter just turned 13, my son just turned 11. It's just been nice getting a little bit more time with them. And it's one of those I don't think you realize sometimes just like how fast time goes. And then I'm just like, holy shit, I have a 13-year-old, in what, 4 years, 5 years, she's going to be off to college. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah, trying to spend a little bit more time with my family, obviously working on my business, getting into, trying to projects that are a little bit more flexible where it's not just I'm stuck here in St. Louis where I can be a little bit more free, so that way we can do like more family vacations, but I can still do Zoom meetings with you and this and that, where I don't have to always be here on site. So kind of working towards that. And then the other part that I've been working on, I really want to take this year as president and I really want to grow our chapter. I want to prove that we can get new members involved, we can get the old members involved, we can get sponsors involved. It's not just ASAD, but we can do stuff with the HBA, the AIA, IIDA. Like there's lots of different things that we can do. It doesn't have to just be us, but just trying to merge all of our professions together and doing little events and networking.
You're a connector.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fantastic. What inspires you? Where do you get your inspiration, your ideas, your creativity?
probably listening to music. I don't know why, but if I'm ever I can't think, I'm blocked, I just put some music on and listen to music, and then I will just search images and literally just look at images while listening to music. And then I don't know, somehow, some way, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, this is cool. Like, oh, maybe I could use like this, like, little part and like add that to this project. Yeah. Going for walks. I feel like it's always helpful. I don't do it as much as I should, but it's always nice to get out there. And I would say, like, in terms of walks and stuff too, it's great for like, if you can't like find like a good color palette, like what colors do I need to go together? And you can always find like great color palettes out in nature because there's like some like you would never think about pairing certain colors and this and that. And it's just like the leaves that fall and they just land, like it's great color inspiration.
And is there anybody in particular when you're looking at pictures that usually pops up, other designers or vendors or creators?
In terms of furnishings and stuff like that, I definitely have my favorites that are go-tos. I really love, obviously, I like Bernhardt, I like my Four Hands. There's also a company, it's called, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, Paracia. They have got such cool furniture, and it's always just kind of edgy and different. And it's actually like one of my favorite showrooms to go visit when I'm at High Point. So if anyone's going to High Point, then definitely go see their showroom. But yeah, they've got amazing stuff and it's I would say that's yeah, I could pull inspiration from that place. I'm always trying to find their furniture that I can use in a project because it's just so cool.
Yeah. Well, Candice, I love the amount of energy that you have and the amount of energy that you just give not just your projects but also to like the industry as a whole. I think that's really inspiring and actually getting more and more rare as people kind of retract from volunteering their time. That's really amazing.
Thanks.
Um, yeah. Any final thoughts on a current project that you're working on that you're just like tickled pink about?
I have got a new bathroom I'm designing, and I'm pretty excited about it. We've got some fun colors, so lots of teals and this and that. I actually just got some samples in the mail. I'll show you here. But like I think we'll be doing some fun little stuff. It's lots of different colors and so I'm excited to do some fun, bright, bold colors and fun bathrooms.
Great. That's so great. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for making the time with me to meet with me today, Candace.
Yeah, I
Um,
appreciate
I
it.
yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of valuable nuggets in here, and I can't wait for people to hear you. Thank you for listening to Why My Business Works. I hope you found some ideas to chew on, perspectives that give you a boost, and a little shot of courage to do things your own way. Until next time, I'm Megan Dolly, and I'm rooting for you.